Welcome back, everybody. We have our good friend Haley Sparks here with us this morning, and this morning she is showing us some accessory work for weak back muscles.
Yeah, and accessory work is like the work that you can do, tag it on at the end of your workouts. It doesn't, I always tell my sessions, I'm like, do not try to go heavy on this work because you're already fatigued. And now this is really just going to help you correct and make sure that you're not hurting yourself on like the strength movements, okay? So accessory work, it's, you know, maybe 2 to 3 sets at the end of your workout. Go 10 to 12 reps, something super, super light. But I wanted to show you specific accessory work for our back because a lot of us sit down for the majority of the day, or we're in a car, and we're just always in that position. And our back is literally like a foundation of so many things. So honestly, I'm just gonna show you one thing that we probably practice in PE that we don't do a lot of. At night, guys, I challenge you, do 10 trunk twists at night just to loosen up your spine, like everything and all the muscles around your spine. Make sure that those are loose. So before you go to work in the morning and before you go to bed at night, try to do 10 trunk twists, okay? And that wasn't even in the little segment, so that's bonus. All right, so the other one is going to be side plank raises. So what I'm gonna do, Ro, and I'm gonna get the side plank here so that y'all guys can see it, is my elbow and my shoulder are in line here. What I see a lot of times is people will go out here because it's overcompensating and it's easier, duh, but you wanna bring it in. And if that's a little bit challenging, you can take your feet a little bit wider, right? Or you can add assistance and add maybe a block or something there. But what this is going to do is it's gonna help stabilize our back muscles and our core. If you want, you can add just a small dumbbell here and do some raises to really get some good torso flexion here. But I would go about 30 seconds on each side of that plank for maybe 2 to 3 rounds, like I said. That's a little bit more strenuous of a one that you can do. Like the trunk twist, you could literally just stand and do that exercise. But gosh, that's gonna help so much for your lower back. And then another one I had, Ro, was using the band. Now guys, if the band, again, if you're at the age where that's just not something that you wanna use, you can literally do this body weight, okay? Don't think that you can't modify something as a band down even, okay? But I'm gonna put this on the outside of my shoulders here, all right? I've seen people put it around their neck and it's just a lot of strain there. So put it on the outsides of your shoulders. And then we're gonna get a slight bend in our knee and just take our chest to the ground, parallel to the ground, and back up. There's not really a squat in this, Ro. So this is really getting a good hinge on your lower back, okay? The good hinge. So that's strengthening the lower back muscles.
Now, does that, with the good mornings that you just showed right there, does that help? Because a lot of us have lower back pain, especially like if you start getting your 30s, early 40s.
Let's go. Things change.
Yeah, they do. That's facts. So for all the young ones out there, enjoy it while you can because it's coming. Does that help alleviate some of that?
Yeah, actually, if you are having lower back pain, a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to deadlift if I'm having back pain. No, you actually do want to deadlift when you're having back pain.
You just need to go lighter.
Go way lighter because that's just showing you that you have maybe some weaker muscles. So go lighter, right? And get the band if you want to and use that for your beginning or your starting point. But yeah, don't avoid back exercises if you have back pain. It just means that you probably need to do them. I have a lot of physical therapists and chiropractor references that you guys can get into to even just kind of get lined out before you start building, because if not, you're going to be working off of indifferences and maybe create some more imbalances.
And you got more problems.
Yeah, you got more problems. We don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely not. All right, thank you, Haley. Thank you so much. Welcome back, everybody. We're back with Haley Sparks, and now we're talking about tips for picky eaters. So, Haley, talk to us a little bit.
This is a big one, and as someone that used to come from, like, guys, I've had like a 10-year-long eating disorder, and I don't say that, like, there's an eating disorder and then there's distorted eating, okay? Not everyone has an eating disorder. There's also a lot of people that have just distorted eating thoughts, okay? There's a difference there. But as I've been, you know, I'm launching my family and kids coaching course in 4 weeks. I have a wait list up. Y'all go sign up on that. But a lot of this has been covering, you know, picky eaters, and it touches home. So I want to give you guys some statistics and then some tips on how we can maybe navigate that. That's a hard word.
It's early. It's early. I get it.
All right, there we go. Okay, so here are some insights, guys. 78% of picky eaters, it comes from genetics. All right, it's tied to genetics. 78%. all right? And I'm thinking about that and the obesity rates, diabetes, things like that. I'm like, okay, so if parents are diabetic, then and maybe overweight because of their choices, lifestyle, or it's just genetics, then their kids are 78% likely to be that way as well and to have picky eating habits because of it. All right, thinking about it. 45% of cases happen because parents tend to push or restrict food too much. That's like, I'm thinking, we were talking about it a little bit before, and a lot of kids are growing up around parents that are dieting or talking about their diet all the time, or talking about, well, you guys can have this, but I'm gonna eat this for dinner tonight. That's a very popular conversation that I have with parents, you know? And so, you know, if we're restricting things, or if kids are seeing you restrict things as well, noting, it's as early as 12 months, people. Early as 12 months that kids are starting to observe and look at your eating habits and what you're doing and how you're talking about them. That's 1 year old, you know, like I think a lot of us think that babies don't, or kids don't hear a lot of what we're talking about, but they're observing everything, body language and everything.
Right.
And the last one here is 30% of picky eaters as adults say that their food aversions come from bad experiences in the past. So again, I make it fun food Friday. Like maybe you have a bad experience with carrots in the past and you're like, I will literally never try those again. And then we stick with that for the rest of our lives, you know? I mean, roe, cottage cheese.
That ain't changing. That ain't changing.
He saw it coming. He saw it coming. No, I know we're cutting short on time, guys. I'll post this and we can talk about it again. But one tip I just want to leave you is, and it sounds simple, but changing your mindset, truly. If you keep telling yourself that you're a picky eater and you're not open to trying new things, then guess what happens? You're always going to be thinking about those things and not open to trying, right? So have a growth mindset and not a stuck mindset, and think about in the situation, do I have a growth mindset here or do I have a stuck mindset? Give it a try.
All right, there you go. All right, Haley, thank you so much.
Absolutely.